Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Talk with James Pierre. Joining us now is an Emmy Award journalist and also the man for NBC6, Jawan Strader. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here, man.
I'm Jawan Strader live at the breaking news desk in the NBC6 studios, and we're following a plane that has crashed into a house.
I don't even know where to start, you know, and a mentee interviewing a mentor, you mean so much to me. You've done so much. I can say publicly, if I am the person I am today, it's because of you shaping me every single day with your advice. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Miami is your second home. I want to take my viewers back to your first home. Tell me more about your childhood.
Oh, wow, man. I tell you, I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a Hoosier, and I grew up, man, to a single mother. My father wasn't there in my life ever growing up, so my mom would work 2 or 3 jobs in order to take care of me and support me, and putting her family as number one. And putting God first and bringing that in the household as well. So growing up in Indianapolis may have been a challenge at times, but my mom made sure that I had everything that I could as a child. So even though there were pitfalls growing up, whether the lights would be turned off or this bill wouldn't be paid, sometimes wondering when the next meal would come, my mom always found a way to make it happen. So I always use my mother as inspiration. And that inspiration is why I'm here today. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because of my mother, and because I wanted to show my father that Jawan Strader was going to be something. That name was going to be something and represent something. And so that's why I'm here today, is because of my mother, because of God first, my mother, and then wanting to prove my father wrong. But now my father and I, we have a good relationship now.
Yeah. A true believer. I want to, if you will, share with our viewers the impact the absence of your father had during your childhood.
Oh, it had a huge impact. I was fortunate that I had my uncles who played a father figure, big brother role in my life. So they helped inspire me to always be better and be a good man. But my mother, most importantly, did as well. Because as a woman, she was able to tell me about what it took to be a man. And some people don't understand that. But as a woman, she was able to do that. And, I always tell people I didn't need a father growing up. And some people say you do, but I didn't. Now, you could say a village, that it does take a village to raise a child. Well, I had that village. That village was not only the community, but it was also my uncles. It was my family. That was the village there that helped to raise me and get me to this point in my life. So I was the first in my family to go to college and graduate. And that right there was significant in my life, because there were times when I doubted and I believed that, I couldn't make it. But you have to get over that and remember your source of inspiration, whether it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. There's someone who inspires you every single day to do what you do and want to be the best that you can be. You must use that as a source of fuel and inspiration in order to make it and not give up on whatever dream you have.
Your mother is obviously your role model to you, and in South Florida, your story is related to so many in South Florida. Is that the reason that pushes you to be a mentor to so many, your father as well, and you're helping others, minorities to be better?
Absolutely, because I think about myself, and I think about when I was a teenager and I started thinking about being in television, and I didn't know what area, what direction to go. And then in high school, it was the same thing. And then being denied some different programs. But then because of networking, I was able to get my first internship at Black Entertainment Television, BET. And then that kind of paved the way for everything else that was to come after that. Another internship at the NBC affiliate, finding out that I also had a form of dyslexia in college that I didn't even know, but I knew I had a struggle when it came to learning certain things. I struggled with my grades, but I was able to graduate college in 5 years, and one of only maybe 4 students that got a job in television on TV once he graduated from college. And this was all a blessing, and this is something that I want to instill in others out there. And I want to make sure that it doesn't have to be television. It could be a scientist. It could be a lawyer. It could be anything. I want to make sure that young men out there, especially, that they know that they do have direction, that there is someone out there that is willing to help them and talk to them and help guide them in the right direction. and make sure that they have that connect, know what it means to network. I think that's extremely important.
Here's the biggest thing right here. The biggest advice I could ever give you is don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself.
And that's the point of that interview, really to show people the man you see in front of the camera has a story.
Yeah.
You know, struggle, what that word means to you.
Man, you know what? We all have stories. Every single person. You have a story. The man behind the camera lens has a story. It's important that you try to share those stories because everyone got to where they're at because of circumstances and because of struggle. But it's how you look at struggle. And we can give up and we could throw our hands up and just walk away. I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or you could look at that struggle as a testament, as something that is the reason why you're going through this struggle is for a reason. And so if you don't look at it that way, like, man, why am I going through this? Why is everybody saying I'm bad? My first job in South Bend, Indiana, as a reporter and photographer, I was bad, man. I was not good. I'm not talking about bad in a good way. I'm talking about bad as in bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't good. And I thought I was good before I started, but all of a sudden I started losing my confidence. So I had to stay with it and not give up. Well, that's a struggle. But see, God was putting me in this position for a reason. So then all of a sudden I got it together. Years later, I ran into a guy that worked in the same city that I worked in. He was like, it's amazing back then. I remember when you first started, he said, man, we didn't think you were going to make it.
Yeah.
And now, look at me. I made it.
God had a plan for you.
Amen.
Wonderful. And it's very, I would say it's truly an honor to have you here in South Florida serving that community. Jawan, stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back after the break, we'll tell you how many no's Jawan Strader has been told to. We'll be right back.
Don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid that you didn't try.